bad leaders. Then they look at you and say, which, well, the next generation, when they come here, make them make their own money. Say, okay, but what about their future that you've already borrowed? Because they've already used those ones. I mean, like if you have a very important message to pass to anybody else, you are dying. If you are going to meet those ones who are planning to come, they say, well, Alaye, check very well, oh. The raffle draw where they give you, if you see in Nigeria, pretend that you are dead, oh. Don't ever try to let them bond you for that place. So now there they come from. Oh. If I get chance again, right? I would rather be like a lamppost somewhere in Acne in London than to return back to that place. So like if people have to just say, once you borrow a picture on you, as you do so now, like if they burn you inside Nigeria for the next 100 years, they're going to take and pay debts. The debts that those old men borrowed and squandered. Here you get, so I can go on and on and on and on. And there are people who feel like this.
Gary, like in Abo Gary the 1,000, and you know alone any Latibotare. Baggy rice is the 70,000. Abo rice is the 2,500. And you know alone Abo rice 1,300. He said that one is sure for you. Any oxygen or oxygen me moruko were or colony burukuti begonyimpe. Any babati yoko in quadru. If they yoko no good. Back is 7,000. Ewa ofesera. Gari osera. Alati bota dada. Kò ní yẹ ìkàyẹ pàtàkì yín. Kí ló dé? Ayé la ṣìyà ní.
Ayé la ṣìyà. You got what I mean now? Like if you have a message for the unborn generation, what would you tell them? Somebody said I would tell them not to come. Here you get, that's it. No go. But we don't have control over that. And now that you are here, except if you do Ponzi scheme and you are so depressed enough that you just want to like go back and all that. Majority don't want to go back, by the way. Everybody complains about this whole thing, this whole mess, and now they have been struggling through. But the better place you are going to see what it is like for an average Nigerian surviving Nigeria every day. They are walking about with so much, it's called pent up anger, That is why when I saw, the audio I played yesterday, I don't know if you remember. So why is that thing is showing on your side? The app they show for your side. And the guy responded and said, which one is the app? Is the app showing on my side? Which kind of talk be this? Which kind of nonsense talk be this? Says they show for my side. Ogbeni, I told you this thing, as anything online business, this thing, I know they like you talk to me, I put money. Now, you know what you go up and be say, you go just have to get ready. So they come your side, you will provide my money. Say, come, no, let me say, make a card, that's it. Now, again, issue that place, right? I'm like, at that spot, I'm like, majority of Nigerians have anger issues. I talk only at everybody they mad. They talk, and that's like if you go out, not in your car. Come on, go into the public bus and see what it is like to be a Nigerian in Tifnobunomic. Maybe maybe this okay.
Driver, back. Down. They're back now. Driver, back. Driver, back. Down. They're back now. Driver, back.
One is saying a park. Driver, park at the park. That means, driver, please park now, for God's sake. What if you are arrested by the police? Another one is, beat him well. Around everybody, around Gaza, any small thing you don't understand. Especially in this season that everybody is saying they don't have money. Well, before now, people were telling you that they don't have money. Right now, majority are crying that they've stolen their money. Yeah, CBEX and all of that. Pent up anger. People who are like, normally, they'll be normal people. But Nigeria don't make them develop different kind of, sicknesses. Amen. Now you see some of them that they have anger issue. Sometimes some of them you think they are deaf. And I don't think it's new. I had a friend who said that he used to believe that Nigerians are deaf people. Like when we talk loud, we'll be screaming. And if you are not right there present when Nigerians are talking and arguing and all that, right? You would think they are fighting, like, all that stuff, right? So to him, he didn't see it like we were arguing. He said it felt like maybe Nigerians are like deaf, because we have to scream before we can hear, before we can hear ourselves. It is what Nigeria turned majority of us into, subconsciously. It's there. It doesn't even matter whether you are rich or poor, whether you are educated or not. It doesn't matter. Nigeria is showing everybody shaggy enough that everyone is walking about with pent-up anger issue. You check it very well. You see that your man, I don't think he has any anger issue in Nigeria. Yeah, I'm not excusing bad behavior. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying that if you come to think of it, right, it's like everything in Nigeria is just like whenever it is your time, or whenever it is your, most of the times you are like just trying to survive. But whenever it is your time for that shaggy to show you shaggy, it will be like saying he singled you out of millions of people to deal with you. That's Nigeria. And then spark, people are angry. But the only strength they have is to use that anger against themselves. They are ready to fight to death. Same them. While they are there, stressed out, and what have you, if those responsible should be passing by, everybody will just get disarmed, like emotionally disarmed. Everybody want to take selfie. Anyway, just before I go tonight, okay? It is reported that Dangote has now reduced its price, by the way. So 830 from 930 naira or something down to 835 naira. Somebody reported this Dangote thing to me, by the way, right? It's like you are a marketer, okay? Or is that the right word, marketer? Princess. And then they will tell you that Dangote will sell you a liter of petrol for example, maybe he wants to sell you 10 million liters, okay, at a certain price, for example, 930 naira, okay? We'll give it to you for 925 naira. Then they have different kind of groups within that, the oil sector. They are just groups, but they collect money from transactions, from oil transactions everywhere, including at the Dangote, okay? So you as a marketer would be the one to pay the money. So when you pay all these bribe, they are not called bribe, they are like legal bribes, okay? When you pay all of this, your liter oil, the price of your PMS per liter will probably be around 927 minus logistics. So whenever, then when you have to take them to different locations and then costs this and that into it, then the problem now will be Dangote says everybody who comes to buy from the pump of the filling stations, right? MRS, I think it's MRS, associated with his company, his refinery, right? will sell a liter of petrol for 930 naira. And you, the marketer, right, who just got almost screwed, you have just maybe 3 naira. And that's lucky you, 3 naira to gain per that liter. Fear, yeah? Why you are that? Dangote will just announce again. He has crashed the price of the petroleum to 835 naira. Remember, you are still carrying this, your 930 naira. They say it does that all the time. I'm talking about people with personal experience, right? Anyway, he has announced that. And those of you asking us to be grateful, people told us to be grateful that the same liter of petroleum that was sold for 167 naira per liter, right? Or the one that was way back was 87 naira per liter. And yeah, subsidy. They claim they are not paying anymore, which they are still paying, but not in the name of fuel subsidy anymore. It is now called the dollar subsidy, right? Another scam that at the moment it becomes public, right? Is also going to be interesting, right? The money they are denying, and then those who are collecting the money. So there are so many reasons, so many factors surrounding this Dangote, this or that, and price tag, okay? But the interesting one is, as Nigeria now imports more, right, from Malta, before Tifnumbu in 2023, it was reported that between 2015 and 2023 May, Nigeria imported $100 million worth of finished products from Malta under Bukwari. Or between May 2023 and May 2024 under Tifnumbu, right? Nigeria imported over $3 billion worth of PMS products. So we later found out that they just procure a blending refinery in Malta. What is that blending? It is when they take the products of, let's say, PMS, for example, okay, and then they mix it and dilute it with some other chemicals to expand the whatever the content and all that, but it's adulterated. All right. So anyway, Nigeria paid more for importing fuel into Nigeria within this period as well. They just came when Mele Kyari was trying to secure an extension of his own appointments under Tifnumbu. He wanted to continue as the GMD of, although he called himself a CEO of NNPCL. He's the GMD of the NNPC. They sold that to themselves and now it is private. Even though Nigeria is the one paying the salaries of these people working in a private oil company started by these guys. Right? Now, today, they are claiming that Warri Refinery, Port Harcourt Refinery, the two refineries whose the source of crude oil supply has been vandalized for years, and there is no news that they have repaired these pipelines bringing crude oil into this refinery. But they still go ahead to continue to bobo the entire country. And just this afternoon, right, the guy who told us that Dangote refinery products, remember that time? So the guy started rolling out what their oil industry achievements, including millions of liters of petroleum from Port Harcourt Refinery and then Warri Refinery. Oh gosh, man. Okay, listen.
Supply. So, in terms of Dangote Refinery and PMS, from September when they started, they supplied about 102 million liters in September, 298 million liters in October, 580 million liters in November, 398 million liters in December, 692 million liters in January, 625 milliliters in February, 638 milliliters in March, and 238 milliliters to date in the month of April. So again, if we go further, the next slide, to make it more maybe understandable, what is that contribution, what does that mean to national demand? So if we go back to September, they added 12% of our national demand. So they supply 6.4 million liters a day out of 50, which is like 12.8% of our requirement. So if we want to go by each, but I can jump to say by January, that contribution increased to about 22%, which means, sorry, to 44 or 45%, which means by that time they gave us 22 milliliters a day. So you can see the progress from 6 milliliters a day in September to 22 milliliters a day in January. And then, of course, in February, it came slightly down from 22.5 to 22.3 milliliters, which is 44%, 44.7% of our requirement, of our national requirement. And in March, they came down again to 41%, which is 20.6 milliliters. And currently, they are 36%. They are contributing about 18 milliliters. So out of 50, they gave us 18 milliliters. So that means we have to source for the balance somewhere. Now, next slide, 0.2%, and Area 3, which is 88.9% in terms of mechanical completion. Then Kaduna Refinery overall progress is 81.1%, and we broke it down into work packages. So that's it. We believe that we've gone on. And one thing that is peculiar about Kaduna Refinery, even if the refinery is 100%, we also have to consider the pipeline, the Warri-Kaduna pipeline, the state of the pipeline. So obviously, they're also looking at that, which is also a major project for them. Now we go back to the main slide, and the next slide, if you go dig into, we see, okay, what about these refineries? So this is just a general overview about supply. So we look at Port Harcourt Refinery. So Port Harcourt Refinery, if we look at the total in terms of PMS, for the month of November, when they came on stream, they had a blended PMS, which is straight-run gasoline and straight-run naphtha. But in reality, what their contribution was in terms of PMS is 150,000 liters in November, 1.3 milliliters in December, 1.35 milliliters in January, 1.4 milliliters in February, and 1.1 milliliters. So obviously, the two combined together will still not meet our national requirement. So we go to the next slide. Now we look at the Port Harcourt Refinery. So when we look at this, November, the cumulative total in the blue is gasoline, and in the red is gas oil, which means petrol and diesel. So cumulatively, in November, NNPC refinery, let's say Port Harcourt Refinery, gave us 238 million liters. No, 238 average daily, yeah. And December, 538,000. In January, it came down to 275. In February, it came down to 85,000 liters. And then diesel started from January, 247,000 liters. In February, 630.
I'm sorry to bore you with all of that lies. I just want them to be on record so that when we are looking back, like everything that is